Aditya's essential oil tips. Today, frankincense. This is maybe the oil of oils, frankincense, the real incense, and it has been used since over 4,000 years. It is mentioned in the Eber Papyrus, old Egyptian scroll dating 1600 years before Christ, one of the amazing plants of ancient times already. And as we know when we read the Bible, Jesus, the apostles were using frankincense all the time. Now, frankincense is distilled from the resin. So you have the frankincense tree and the bark gives resin, and this resin is in a distiller heated and gives off a liquid which condensates and then is in the process of distillation captured and becomes an oil. And if you have totally clear oil, then you know you have the highest kind of frankincense. It must come from transparent frankincense resin. Mostly what you will find on the market is a milky or a yellowish or a reddish or even a brownish resin, which is already contaminated with traces from the bark. That's where the color comes from. That is not what is used for real frankincense oil. So that's to answer the quality question. So frankincense is used first of all for the skin. It's perfect oil for the skin, and I show you a special use. Take 1 or 2 drops and you take the 2 fingers like this. This is the gesture of the ancient ointment maker, and you activate the oil 3 times clockwise. And after you have activated the frankincense oil 3 times clockwise, you can apply it, let us say, on the third eye, on the heart chakra, can apply it on the crown, can apply it in the neck. Neck is a funny place. We have many feelings, many tensions sitting in the neck. The fear in the neck and certain pressures in the neck. Something gets you by the neck. And the funny thing is, the moment you put frankincense in the neck, it clears the energies. So I suggest you try that if you want to be really protected and in your energy aligned. Frankincense oil in the neck is a good thing. Of course, why you put it on the chakras? To open the chakras, to purify the chakras, to open yourself. And what you will notice if you inhale frankincense, it is, wow, really opening up worlds. Emotions fall away from you, emotional clouds, energy clouds that may be somewhere in your aura, they are dissipating. And this is also why frankincense oil as a purifier, as a cleaner of the aura of energies, is a great oil for the aromatic bath. How do you do that? You have your bathtub. You will sit in it for 45 to 50 minutes to have the full effect. You use an emulsifier, for example salt, bathing salt, like Dead Sea salt, can be also cream, it can be milk, it can be honey. An emulsifier helps the oil to blend with the water, otherwise you would have the bubbles of the essential oil just swimming on top of the water surface. So you need an emulsifier if you're taking a bath. And then you're stepping in it and you will feel how it really clears your aura, how it clears your energy, and how sharp and how fresh and like how reborn, how reset you become taking an aromatic bath with frankincense. In the Christian tradition, they call this, even the frankincense washes away the sins. So if you have like a Christian background, that may sound familiar to you. That is what frankincense can do. If you are not Christian by background, still translate this into your terminology and you will get the idea what frankincense can do for you. By opening the chakras, it can make you open to higher states of consciousness. Frankincense is said to be able to connect with the worlds of light, At the same time, of course, it's an oil, extremely aromatic, that activates brain centers like the pineal gland, the amygdala, the limbic system, the pituitary gland. So a lot of the spiritual and emotional and mystic centers of the brain. And you start to perceive things in a bigger way, in a oneness way, in a contextual way. You start to connect the dots when you use frankincense. Basically, you get a holistic perception. And this is what, of course, some people call spiritual, some people call mystical. You could look at it as just another mode of how the brain functions. We don't know a lot about the human brain so far, so these are just some ideas. I invite you to use frankincense even just by smelling it from the bottle, or by inhaling from the hands, or by putting it in the diffuser in the room. If you have a meditation room or if you pray regularly, it's great to have the smell of frankincense in the air. Also, if you have intention, if you want to manifest things, get things done in this physical world, frankincense is a great oil in helping you manifest thoughts, make projects happen. Another use of frankincense is you can ask questions and get answers. There's this passage in the Bible where it says, "Ask and you shall be given, knock and the door shall be opened." And frankincense exactly facilitates that. Sometimes we have a number of options and we don't know what to choose. And then usually we become all mindy and we think, well, I could do this or maybe that, and now that is maybe better. And then we ask other people and then they confuse us even more. So what you do, you inhale frankincense and then you think the question. And then you go through the options and you will see right away one of the options, one of the alternatives will be the most powerful in your mind. It can even happen that only that one option is even possible to see or to think. And that is because frankincense is in resonance with truth. So if it's the right thing to do for you, then frankincense will allow you to perceive exactly that, to perceive only that. Whereas in many other occasions, when we think about different solutions, different alternatives, what usually happens is quite interesting. We first have usually the right solution, but then a second, a third comes to mind, and then we get so confused that we forget about the solutions, that we forget about the first alternative, which is usually the right alternative. So frankincense, and you really test this with minor things, with small decisions. Don't put a big decision depending on frankincense. As I explained to you right now, train this first with smaller everyday life decisions, so you get a feeling for it, how it works and how your brain or the inspiration that comes from the universe. I have no idea how to explain this to you. The only thing I know is it works and I use it when I have important decisions to make. And it always gives me the right answer. I immediately feel well with, and it gives me the only answer. It's like the one and only answer, because other options strangely do not come to mind when I use frankincense. So for the skin, of course, you can put it in skin ointment, but you can put it simply on your skin everywhere. And that is about the most important uses of frankincense. One thing I might add, it's one of my top 3 oils for the Lonely Island, because it has so many different uses. So if I were stranded on a lonely island, this is one of the 3 oils I would take in any case with me, and I have always with me. So you will find out about the other 2 main oils that I would have on a lonely island in other videos. That's it for the moment. I'm happy you're watching these oil tips, Aditya's Essential Oil Tips. See you next time. Inhale, anoint and oil yourself so that everything in your life is running really smooth.